సార్ రమేష్ సార్ ముందు మీరు మాట్లాడతారా?
ఓకే ఓకే
మేడం
ఏం రా
రమేష్ గారు స్టార్ట్ చేయండి సార్.
సార్ ఇప్పుడే స్టార్ట్ అయింది సార్. రండి సార్, జాయిన్ అవ్వండి సార్.
హలో సార్.
Kasireddy sir, good morning. Please start the session, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, streaming rolling. Start చేయండి sir. Kesav sir in mute. Kesav sir in mute లో ఉన్నారు. యా
సార్
వినిపిస్తుందా?
మీరు అన్మ్యూట్ అవ్వండి సార్.
సార్ వినిపిస్తుందా?
Okay, good morning, madam. Very warm welcome from NCERT Andhra Pradesh. Here we have our all trainings coordinator Girbabu Garu and our CNT professor Keshav Reddy and this physical science coordinator Dr. Bhagyasri are there, madam. All the physics and biology teachers are viewing this webinar through YouTube streaming, madam. Yesterday we had a very good session, madam. First of all, we should be thankful to NCERT for giving us the copyright permission and permission to utilize NCERT text. Thank you so much, madam. Keshav Reddy Garu, Bhagyasri Garu, Girbabu Garu, please introduce yourself and
Yes,
start
sir.
the program.
Yes, good morning, madam. Good morning, sirs. And my name is Girbabu Yadav, NCERT, Andhra Pradesh. Yesterday, the biological science teacher training is well successfully completed. So today also, I wish to successfully good betterment information pass on to the AP teachers. In this academic year, the newly introduced the 8th class textbooks for class 8th. These textbooks have been adapted from NCERT and are customized according to the native in our local area. So please go through the chapter-wise analysis. This is honorable CM vision reflects here. In this session, we have to discuss on LOCs as per NCERT aims and objectives and mention 21st century skills and assessment and pedagogical process content as well as pedagogical process and assessment. So we will discuss this today. Thank you, madam. Dr. Madam, we will warmly welcome to you this session, madam. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Vananda.
స్మాల్ ఫస్ట్ గిరిబాబు గారు మాట్లాడేటప్పుడు పక్కన కేశవ్ రెడ్డి గారిది కూడా మీకు ఆన్ లో ఉంటుంది, దానివల్ల డిస్టర్బెన్స్ వస్తుంది, మీరు కొంచెం చెక్ చేసుకోండి. ప్లీజ్ క్యారీ ఆన్. భాగ్యశ్రీ మేడం ప్రొఫైల్ అది ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేసి ప్లీజ్ స్టార్ట్ ద సెషన్.
Okay, sir. Good morning to all the physical science teachers and biological science teachers of Andhra Pradesh. Welcome to online training program for PS teachers on 8th class new textbook introduced this year by NCERT that we have to introduce this year. I thank the Department of School Education, Special Chief Secretary of School Education, Commissioner of School Education, Directors are SCRT, State Project Director Samagra Shiksha. Now I introduce Dr. Kalpana Masti, Assistant Professor of Physics, Department of Education in Science and Mathematics, RIE Bhopal, NCERT. She has degrees of MSc, MAd and PhD. She has 10 publications and conducted 2 conferences. Now I invite Kalpana to. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vikas. Thank you. And it's really a great opportunity for me too to interact with the Andhra state teachers. And really, as you all have adopted our textbook, and I think you have done 10% changes in those textbook, as we have Gujarat state also adopted our textbook, and they have done 10% of changes as per the state requirements or the need. Am I audible, sir?
Excuse me,
Yes,
madam.
yes,
As far as physical science and biological science are concerned, we are
Yes, ma'am.
using
You're
as
audible.
it is,
Continue.
madam.
Please continue.
We are using as it
All
is.
right.
No 10% really.
Okay. In Gujarat, they have done. That's why I asked this. For some figures or diagrams, they have changed it. Okay. Let us discuss, as this session is about the textbook of class 8, how we have to introduce those textbook to our learners is more important. So before starting the session, I just want to show all of you a very small video. I do not know about teachers are not going to interact, but I have planned accordingly. But I want to show that video so that after that I will share what I want to show or the message we want to have from that video. Let me permit to share the screen. Madam, please let me know the screen is visible or not.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. Is it visible?
Yes,
Yeah, madam.
now it is visible, madam.
Okay. This video, I request all the teachers who are watching it live, please observe it carefully and why we are trying to show this video and what message it will give. It is a 2-minute video. Please watch it carefully. And there is no voice, there is no language, nothing is there. We have to watch it silently on. Please watch it. There is one horse who is in trouble. Now, what we have to do to take out the horse from the problem?
Okay. I'm getting eight from them.
It is very difficult for a horse to come out of it. And these people do not want to leave the horse in mud. They are planning how to take the horse out. what they have done? They bring a group of horses running around that horse who is in trouble. And seeing those horses, this horse tries to stand up. And see how this horse, motivated to see other horses running, and he tries to come out. He tries to come out. Yes. Otherwise, it is very difficult for the horse to come out. But seeing those horses running around the horse, he tries and successfully comes out. And successfully comes out. Okay. This is a very short film which shows actually how motivation helps to come out of the problem. And here the problem is learning. We need to taught our students, our learners in such a manner they can feel motivated. And for that, what we need, as per the video, what we need a teamwork. If teamwork will be there, if we work together, if we will learn together, definitely all will go together and achieve the target, achieve their aims, and may be a good citizen of India tomorrow. Okay, so this is how we can actually get inspiration from others also. So the students who are slow learners, who are weak, we need to involve them in the group so that they can also learn in a better way, or they can also compete with them. So it's a very motivational video and shows that how teamwork gives success to us. Now let us start today's presentation. Today we are going to have a talk on physical science at upper primary stage. Before entering into the class, the teacher must know so many things. She or he needs to plan how to take the class, especially science class. For that, I can say we are having three PPT formula. That is, the teacher needs to prepare, a teacher needs to plan, the teacher needs to plan and prepare as per the class and the locale of the time and locale of the students. So for what we have to plan, we have to think so many parameters before entering into the class or before planning the topic. For that, for example, I started my session with this picture. If you have seen the picture, both the pictures are same. The above picture, this one and this one, both are same, but both have 12 differences in between them. This picture and this picture. If participants are able to interact, I will ask them what are those differences, but it is not possible. So I will tell you, for example, the differences, as we can see, few examples I can say. This curtains ring is this side, here it is this side. This flower does not have, this flower is different from this. or we can say the cloud position is different. Even in the shape, this picture in giraffes pictures, the position of these black spots are also different. Likewise, this heart shape is not black, this was black. Okay, so this is how we can ask to students or to learners how to involve in what we are doing in these two pictures. We are trying to find out the differences, means we are observing the two pictures, and science demands observation. How we need to involve our learners in observation, that we need to plan, and accordingly we have to prepare activity. This is a very simple activity I chosen, because I just want to tell you that how the observation can take place. If as we know, our students like so much animated and cartoons, so I took this picture in a cartoon form, so they are attracted. So we need to, the purpose is actually for, if we want to develop the skill of observation, what we want actually, we want active participation of the students. We want them to participate actively, and they can interact, they can respond. So what we have to do, we have to plan our activity from known to unknown. Whatever they know, we have to start from that, and step by step we need to involve them in learning. Okay, in this module or in this session, what we are going to discuss is what science is, what the curricular expectations, and what are the curricular area, what pedagogical processes to achieve the learning outcomes, and what are the resources and strategy we have to use for science learning, especially at upper primary stage, and how to organize the learning experience in science. Nowadays, we are talking about experiential learning. We are talking about learning science through ICT. We are talking about to give hands-on experience so that learning can be done better by the learner. What are the activities to be done by the teachers so that they can give their best in the class for the effective teaching learning. These are the objectives what we are going to cover. Those are the objectives: science as a curricular area, and have a better understanding of curricular expectation and learning outcomes, and be aware of different strategies and what are the learning resources to be used in science classroom, that too at upper primary level. We need to plan learning experiences as per the important to look science contextually and as per the need of the students, and organizing learning experiences to enable students to engage meaningfully in teaching learning of science. And when we are talking about learning science, so we need to do assess what students have learned. The assessment part is also very important to how the learning outcomes can be assessed, what they have achieved or not. So what science is, how actually we know the science is the study of nature. The scientific inquiry needed, and experimentation is also needed. Here experimentation, what class 8 students can do in science, we have to develop experiments like that they can involve, they can perform those experiments, and how to apply that knowledge of science to solve day-to-day problem. It means problem solving ability or skill also can be developed among students, and they can appreciate the use of technology in their everyday life. So what science is? Science is the study of existence. The question comes in our mind, does God exist? It means science answers about what exists and what not, and how it exists and how it does not, and why it exists and why it could not. Means what, why, and how. It give answers for what, how, and why the things can exist. So we can say science is the knowledge from study, which we can gain from study, knowledge from experiment, and knowledge from observation. It means science is the knowledge which we can get from study, reading, or from experiment, or from observation. So it is our responsibility, our accountability to involve students in study, in reading, in observation, and in experimentation, so that they can learn science effectively, and for a conceptual understanding can be developed. They can't wrote it. We need to develop a better conceptual understanding among them. Now, science is classified as biological science, physical science, and social science. Yesterday, you have a class on biological science, and I think the day after tomorrow, you have a class on social science. And today, we are going to discuss on physical science. So, what physical science is? It deals with the study of non-living things, their composition, nature, characteristics, the changes they have undergone, and the factors affecting these changes. So, physics and chemistry, as till upper primary level, we have a science, but the chapters are divided into physics, chemistry, and bio. The meteorology, that is the study of the ionosphere and the motions. Geology, rock, soil, everything is there in science till 8, but the basic information we need to give to our students so that they can have a better base, and further classes they can develop a good building over that. So we need to provide that foundation accordingly. So chemistry, we know chemistry a matter of reaction. The study of all forms of matter, including how matter interacts with other matter, structure and properties of matter, and how substance change, chemical reactions, and it is the study of matter, its composition, properties, structure, and the changes it undergoes. The physics, the science of matter, the physics study about the science of matter and energy and their interaction with each other. The way energy affects matter, motion, force, electricity, light, and heat. These are the concepts which needs to be dealt at upper primary stage. If you have seen the book, class 8 book, the chapters which are in the category of physics and chemistry are materials, metals and non-metals, coal and petroleum, combustion and flame, force and pressure, friction, sound, chemical effects of electric current, some natural phenomena, light, stars and the solar system, pollution of water and air. These are the chapters which we have to deal in class 8. So science has two approaches basically, science as a process and science as a product. So from where to start at upper primary stage? See, it depends on how to look at the science. If it demands any fact, concept or generalization, then we need to use science as a product and lead it to science as a process so that we can involve them in observation, experimentation and reasoning. So both are vice versa to each other. If we have scientific method, they will come out with some scientific information. If our learners use scientific information, they will use scientific method. So these two approaches are very important in science to involve learner in science learning, as science as a process and science as a product. So the main purpose of science, physical science teaching in school is to enable students to grasp systematically the basic knowledge of physical science needed for further study of modern science and technology. As I have said, till upper primary stage, we have to prepare, we have to give foundation of science learning to our learners so that in further classes, they can have that conceptual understanding and they can have higher science studies. So what science is expected? So science is expected to develop in the students scientific attitude and values. That is what values and what attitudes actually we want to develop according to the chapters given in class 8. So if teachers are there, I can ask them with some chapter, or they can write it, choose one chapter and try to find out what scientific values and attitudes can be developed from that particular chapter. For example, I can say friction. Is it possible within the chapter of friction, out of these attitudes and values, what values can be inculcated among learners? Belief, intellectual honesty, curiosity, humility, open-mindedness, objectivity, inventiveness, critical mindedness, responsibility, risk-taking. In the last, I will take one chapter of both. I will take friction, I will take chemical effect of current, I will take light, and I will give one example of what values can be inculcated with the help of those chapters among the learners. In the practical session, I will do these things. Okay. So science at school stages, science actually have different objectives at different levels. We have 4 levels in school, that is primary stage, upper primary stage, secondary and higher secondary stage. Primary stage demands nurturing curiosity about the world around the child. That's why we don't have the science, we have environmental science there or environmental studies. And in upper primary, the learner needs to learn principles of science through hands-on experience and familiar observations. And this stage is really very important for the learner to have attraction towards science. If we will not able to give that attraction of science among students, they will not take science subject in class 11th and 12th. So we need to reduce that fear of science, because our students have science fear. And how we can reduce that fear, it is our responsibility how we are planning our science class so that they can attract toward science subject. And in secondary, through experimentation as a tool to verify theoretical basis, in secondary or higher secondary, we can say science as a separate subject, physics, chemistry, bio. It has experimental usage, technological uses, problem solving method we can use in experimentation so that they can conclude as a science as a process and science as a product. They can verify Ohm's law. They are doing magnetic, they are drawing magnetic lines of forces. They are concluding something by doing experimentation in higher secondary stage. And so we can say at the higher secondary stage, introducing optional science discipline rather than adding more contents to the existing disciplines. So what are the curricular expectations at the upper primary stage? Science curriculum at the upper primary stage, NCERT has said the science curriculum at the upper primary stage is intended to develop scientific temper and scientific thinking. Along with that, scientific process skills, which include, we know that science process skills and integrated science process skills we need to develop among students in order to have good scientific temper. So what are those? Observation, posing questions, searching various resources, planning investigations, hypothesis formulation and testing, collecting, analyzing and interpreting data, supporting explanations with evidences and justification, critically thinking to consider, weigh, and compare alternative explanations, reflecting on their own thinking. When we are saying they have to reflect on their own thinking, for that we need to trust them. We have to give space to them so that they can express their views, their responses, whatever they are thinking. Maybe they are wrong, but we need to redirect and reinforce them to come on the right path. At least they are trying actually. Or we other curricular expectations are sensitivity towards environmental concerns, respect for human dignity and rights, gender equity, values of honesty, integrating cooperation, concerns for life and public property. See, in every class, this expectation is needed, because it doesn't happen in class 12. We can say you have to be honest, you have to be integral, cooperate, and show concern for life. We have to do it step by step in every class, because in our country there is, or anywhere, there is no separate class for behaviorism. You come to the class, we will study behaviorism. No, every subject has its own behavior, and that behavior is inculcated along with the subject, and with that we can develop honesty, integrity, cooperation, concern. We have to bring that social behavior also along with our science subject. These are the curricular expectations at secondary level. I'm not going to discuss on it. I have given it because these curricular expectations till class 8 provide a base for further class 9th and 10th. Then only if that curricular expectations are achieved, then we can talk about these curricular expectations which are defined by NCERT at secondary level too. I'm not going to discuss about these two. For example, I have taken an example of electricity, because one chapter is chemical effect of current. How we have to start? We can't start. It is okay. In book, the start is different, but we have to see our classroom, our learners, their level of understanding, and accordingly, we need to start from the grassroots level so that they can answer it. They can involve in the class actively and they can participate. They can give responses. So, what electricity is? Because in class 7th or 6th, they have already learned about electricity, electric circuit, they have learned about it. So what electricity is? It is something real which cannot be seen, but effects are felt and effects are even seen by the students. They can give examples. So before going to chemical effects of current, what we can do? We can ask them the different effects, what they have seen. That is, first is heating effect. They have seen the electric rod in their house by which the electric heater, and then light effect also. When electricity flowing through a conductor like tungsten, light emitted from the surface of the conductor, it is called light effect of current. And the next one is chemical effect. This is how, if they are not able to see the chemical effect, this is one of the diagram, and along with that I can show you how this chemical effect can be shown to the students. Okay. So when current passes through an electrolyte, it breaks up in its ion. This breaking effect is known as chemical effect of current. If I will initiate this type of in this kind, it is not a successful initiation in the classroom for this topic. What I have to do, I have to use their class 6 or class 7 experience where they have made a very simple circuit of glowing LED, and then we come to chemical effect. Okay, I will show you that how we can. I have kept it here because how usko pakad ye wala dikha de. Please let me know whether the screen is visible or not. ये on है ना? Or I have to stop sharing first. Wait. Hello, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir. My another screen is visible or not? I want to see. Let me know, please.
Just open it, ma'am. Screen sharing is not completely done.
नहीं? अच्छा.
Yeah.
Wait.
Start.
ये?
I started.
Now?
Yes.
Is it? Yes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
पहले सिर्फ इसके बन सी हाँ मेटल का सी दीज आर द टू ये कैसा दिख रहा है पकड़ो तुम पकड़ो these are the two electrodes. This is one GI galvanized iron electrode. See, if I will touch it, the bulb glows. Is it visible? Bulb is glowing. Is it visible?
No, madam.
No, ma'am.
Okay, wait. No. The bulb is glowing.
Yes.
This experiment they have performed in class 6, right? This is very simple experiment. We have done it on the breadboard, and even I request you to involve students, as Atal Tinkering Lab has also been introduced now in the schools. Try to involve students in such a way that they can make their circuit on breadboard, and it is really very good to use a breadboard for performing various experiments. See, now it is okay. Now I am talking about chemical effect of current. As we know that some liquid conduct electricity. So what we will do? This I have taken just a water. These two are the same electrodes of galvanized iron. I have kept it in the beaker, and see, the LED is glowing. थोड़ा उधर करो. रुको. LED is glowing. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
It means water conducts electricity. Okay, but there is no chemical effect we have seen here. It just shows that the liquid conducts, some liquid also conduct electricity. If you will go through the book also, I will show you the chapter. Wait, अच्छा sharing नहीं है ना अभी? नहीं रुको, मैं जो दिखाना चाह रही थी, ठीक है, चैप्टर आ रहा था? Okay, okay. Wait, what I want to show you, this chapter, this is the chapter of class 8, chemical effect of current. Which one? This one, I think so. Yeah. If you will go through the textbook, you will find that after every paragraph, we have given activities. If we will ask our learners to perform this activity, see, this is the activity. I have taken only water. And after that, we asked our learners to take different kind of liquids. For example, lemon juice, vinegar, tap water. We have taken tap water and it shows that it conducts electricity, vegetable oil, milk and honey. And we asked them to fill this table, what they are getting, the bulb is glowing or not. If we don't have bulb, we can have the compass which can show, and if on that compass, if we will wind up with wire, and those two wires can be inserted in this, so we can have it behaves like that. The deflection we will get. Okay, this is how this table can be filled by the learner. Matlab, we don't need to perform it, it must be performed by the students. Now I have a potato. For example, I have to show you, this is a potato. Okay. Now what we can do, this we have seen the water conducts electricity. Now what happens with the potato? We will see. ये अच्छे से नहीं आ रहा है. Actually the connectivity issue is there. नहीं, चला गया, फिर से करो. नहीं. हाँ, see, with the help of potato the bulb is glowing. थोड़ा पास करो, bulb दिखेगा. हाँ. Is it visible to all of you? The bulb is glowing even in with the potato, right?
Yes. Madam, excuse me.
हाँ जी.
Madam, it is not, the experiment will not be appear in the full screen, madam.
This experiment will not?
Experiment is not appearing on the full screen. Please check it once, madam.
Full screen?
Yes, madam.
Full screen, how to do? Wait a minute. So I have to share with mobile then, na?
Okay, madam. Sir, నేను అది YouTube లో నేను సైజ్ పెంచుతున్నాను సార్, నో ప్రాబ్లం.
You also
YouTube streaming లో సైజ్ పెంచి చేస్తున్నాను. మనకి వెబెక్స్ లో చిన్నగా కనిపిస్తుంది కానీ YouTube లో పెద్దగా కనిపిస్తుంది, నో ప్రాబ్లం. మేడం కంటిన్యూ.
Experiment will appear in a bigger size, then it will be effective, madam. Please once
okay.
Please check it, madam.
Can you tell me what I have to do? Make it on a single window? Actually, right. You have to double click on that video. You will get the full screen. Actually, you please double click on that picture.
No problem, madam.
Where you are getting that video.
I am streaming in full size in YouTube. No problem. Continue it.
Continue, na?
You continue it, madam.
So, okay. So now what I have shown to you, first what I have done, whatever our students have performed in class 6, we have made that simple circuit. They have shown us how LED glows. After that, as we have to study about chemical effects of electric current, we have taken a tap water and we also conducted that experiment that water conducts, tap water conducts electricity. After that, what I took potato, and also potato shows the LED glows. Now what we have to do to see the chemical effect, if we will pass the current for continuous 15 to 20 minutes, what will happen? A blue type of circle will develop around the electrode. these two electrode, एक electrode में it will become a blue kind of circle will develop. What it shows? The flow of current produces chemical effect also, which can be observed by the students. If I will do it, I will just perform this experiment for 20 minutes. It will show a blue kind of color is developed on the potato. Okay. This is how we have to involve students in their classroom, and these activities are given in the textbook also. We can show them videos, we can show them some story kind of okay, it is okay now. Okay, we can do it like that. Regarding this, I want to show you one video also, because I have taken this see. Sometimes we don't have time to perform, so we can show them video and ask them to do this at home also. This is the video which shows how the chemical effect of current takes place. This is also a NCERT textbook chapter, and they have made a video like that. So sometimes we can use these videos also for better understanding, rather than drawing on the blackboard or just giving lecture on this topic, and we don't have time to demonstrate it. We can ask them to show this. This is how ICT also helps us to understand, to visualize what happens, and they can observe it, they can understand it. The videos are available in Hindi, in English, and in any language. If you want to convert them, that can be also possible. Okay, so this is how we can do it. So I'm not going to run this video. I'm just telling you the 3 ways. Manually they can perform, no doubt. Manually, if they can perform, the understanding is better. But sometimes if we do not able, or because see, in India, there are various schools in local, in rural, in urban. In urban schools, maybe there are facility, but in rural, no facility is there. They don't have that battery and everything. So what they can do? But they have mobile, because it is nowadays it is really accessible everywhere, so they can go through these videos for better understanding of the concept. So this is how we can do it. Yeah. Now next, okay. And this magnetic effect, in further classes, they are going to study the magnetic effect. I am not going to show any experiment, even though we have experiment on it. So chemical effect of current starts with like that. So we have to initiate the classroom, science classroom, in such a way which involves the experimentation and the explanation of that experimentation, which involves the theory behind that, how it happens, why it happens, and what we get, what are the utilities of, what are the applications of this effect. Then electroplating is one of the application. Then we can move ahead like step by step. The electricity has also magnetic effect and physiological effect. We know that when electricity flowing through the human body, contraction of nerves takes place, which may be dangerous for our life, and which is called physiological effect of electric current. And it depends on the intensity of current, duration of the passage, and the current path in the body. We need to add some more information, though it is there, it is not there in the class, in that 8th class of science, but we can add some more information, so in order to develop that curiosity among them कि आगे क्या होगा, how we can do it, आगे इसमें कैसे कर सकते हैं, what experiment we can perform it, is it possible to see that effect also. So that needs to be done. So science education in curriculum process involves learning about the science, learning for science, and learning through the science. All the chapters we can have in science, class 8 science, or any at upper primary level or secondary level, they involve all the 3. We are learning about the science, we are learning for science, and learning through the science. Whatever we are having in our life is because of science. And because of science, because of technology, it is possible for me to talk to you all. I am sitting in Bhopal and you all are in the Andhra Pradesh state, and we are able to interact with each other. It is because of all these things. Now, science demands, it integrates knowledge, skills, attitudes, and participation. It is all in the hands of teacher. what she want to inculcate, what she want to development, how she or he will be integrating knowledge, skill, attitude, and participation. Our Modi ji is also saying Kushal Bharat. For Kushal Bharat, we need Kaushal, that is skill. And what skills we can develop at class 8? We have to start with the observation and we have to end with inference and the interpretation. As per their class, as per their age, as per their curriculum, we need to develop those skills, and it develops only when they will have that outlook, that attitude, and then only they will be able to participate. So what philosophy of science is? Actually, science has philosophy and also psychology, we can say. It depends, it is based on ontology, that is the study of existence and its nature. Epistemology, that is knowing and knowledge. Axiology, what values and what value judgment can we get from science learning. Ethics, fundamental models. Scheme, methodology, worldview, foundations, implication, and what are its scope and limitations. Psychology of science, we know that psychology means thinking. So what should I teach and which method would be better in science classroom? For various topic, different methods are there, different strategies are there. All the topics cannot be taught using the same strategy and same method. So what parameters evaluating for scientific knowledge, how to deliver and fix scientific knowledge in learner's mind, what pedagogical tools, teaching learning material for encouraging and visualizing scientific knowledge to be used by the teachers. And both, that is pedagogical tools and teaching learning materials, are studied in isolation. Secondly, from the point of view of adults rather than child. Actually, what we are doing till now, last 5 to 10 years before, we are conducting experiments for from class 9 till 8. There is no experimentation, only we are demonstrating, few demonstration we are giving students. We are not involving them in hands-on experiences. Actually, that's why we need to think over it, how we can give hands-on experiments, how we can demonstrate, and demonstrate only those experiments or those activities which are harmful for the students. Otherwise, let them perform. Let them perform. Only when they will use their head, heart, and hand, they will learn. If we will not allow them to involve all these 3H, we can say 3H formula, head, heart, and hand, they will not learn. They will not involve in learning. So what methods and techniques to be developed which are efficient, right directed rather than competency oriented. So what are that's what I am saying, hand, heart, and head, so that holistically our learners can view science. So the attitudes or the values that science teaching wants to integrate among our learners is critical problem solving, innovation of beneficial products, environmental care, conservation of resources, enhancement of integrity and wellness, informed decision making, discussion of relevant issues that involve science, technology, and environment. What issues to be covered in the classroom? Because see, in the classroom, it is our responsibility to involve science, technology, and environment, and how they can have that outlook or the scientific temper to conserve, to save our environment. Our upper primary stage science is classified in the following themes: food, materials, world of the living, how things work, moving things, people and ideas, natural phenomena, and natural resources. If we will look at the chapters, we can see the chapters belong to any of these categories. The study of physical science helps us to acquire experimental skill, to develop ability to think, use mathematics to solve the problem in the field of industry, so that they can have a future in the field of industry, defense, and agriculture. Now, what we can say, we are talking about teaching learning. So we need to bring the change in the behavior of the learner through experience, and Bloom's taxonomy says if we will give direct, purposeful experience, to the learner hands-on experience, real experience, their learning is lifelong learning. Even I can say we can remember a movie which we have seen 30 years back, 40 years back, 20 years back. We remember the story, we remember the characters, we remember the story, everything we are remembering about that movie. Why? Because our senses are involved. So learning demands multi-sensory demands involvement of multi-sensory learning, we can say, so that they can visualize, they can see, they can feel, and they can come to the conclusion for better conceptual understanding. For that, if you are talking about learning, no doubt learning can be done with the help of resources. Then what kind of resources we have to use in science classroom? We have to use in the classroom which accomplish activity or to achieve the outcomes. So learning resources are those devices and procedures that help to make teaching and learning more interesting, more stimulating, more reinforcing, and more effective. So effective science teaching requires, as we are talking about effective science teaching in the classroom, so it demands creativity, imagination, and innovation. We know that in constructivism, we are using actually constructivist approach after NCF 2005, and which says according to 5E model, we need to involve our students according to those 5E, so that to help and enable better in the understanding of physical science, to make concepts clear, to create interest in physical science, to frame the scientific attitude, to inculcate scientific values, to cultivate the life skills through physical science, to make students a global citizen, to make students a civilized human. And the purpose is to provide important opportunities for students to explore ideas and knowledge, collaborate, they can solve problems and develop knowledge and skills. If you can remember our school days and now what we are doing in our school, so strategies changes. When we are in the school, we have chalk, board, and the textbook, nothing else except that. But now we came to e-classroom, wireless technology, innovative technology, and because of these, we are able to interact actually. Otherwise, it's very difficult for you also to give to organize such a big training program for about 2,000 teachers at one time. Just because of this e-classroom, wireless technology, and innovative technology, we are able to interact with each other. So types of learning resources, we know that traditional and technology based. If I will say technology based, I want to show you one software which is NetLogo, though it is not in a class 8, but wherever we are reading about, we have chapter on molecules. We can we must know about all these things, what is going on in the education system. Wait, this is yeah. Is it visible to all of you? The screen is visible for NetLogo?
Not visual, madam.
No, madam. No, madam.
Okay. Wait. Let me see.
Yeah. Now it's visual, madam.
Visible, no? Okay.
Disappear.
This is a kind of software, a NetLogo software, and it is really very fruitful.
Madam, it disappeared.
For,
Now it is not visual, madam. Please click once again, madam.
okay. May I
Click
continue?
on that once again, madam.
Haji?
Screen is not clear, madam. Please click on double click on that screen, madam.
Double click.
It is not visible, ma'am.
double click. Wait. नहीं तो इस पर डबल क्लिक कैसे करेंगे? तो शेयर तो मैंने यही स्क्रीन तो यही होगी ना?
Excuse me, madam. Madam, excuse me, madam. The audio is very low, madam.
Audio is very low.
Now it is okay, madam. Now it is okay.
Okay, now it is okay. Audio is okay now.
Participants also sending messages that audio is low.
Now it is okay.
Yeah, madam. Good, madam.
This net logo screen is visible. I have where I have to click double. Actually, I'm not getting because my screen is full.
PPT.
Screen is there. Please double click on the screen, which is mine screen. All viewers are requested to double click on that screen because on my phone I have clicked it twice. It looks big now. We can zoom it. You can please zoom it.
You can click on the logo, ma'am. Again, you close it and again open it. Then
No. What I am saying, my screen is visible, right? Net logo screen is visible. You
Logo
please
is not
double
visible.
click.
No, madam.
Now not is
Screen is not clear. Please stop your screen sharing and restart your screen share.
yeah.
Okay,
that is better.
okay, I will do like that.
Yes. Yes. Now it is visible, madam.
But that net logo screen is not visible, na? It is visible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not now.
Your screen is
Not now, na, because I am not able to see that screen. Let
it
me
is
share it
jumping,
again,
right?
okay? Wait, I will share it again. But stop sharing, bol raha hai. One of you have told me to stop sharing. Shall I do like that?
yes. Do it, madam.
Okay, I have stopped sharing. Now again share. Screen. Share. Okay. Okay, now is it visible?
No, ma'am. Screen is okay, but your PPT is not visible.
No. Right now I'm not showing you the PPT. I'm showing you the net logo software.
That is in black square.
Yeah, black square. Okay.
Yeah.
Please zoom that so that I can perform. Okay.
Okay. Continue it.
Not PPT. I'm showing just because we are talking about ICT and how ICT helps us to understand science. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a software, net logo, and students sometimes have very difficulty or they are confused among the three parameters, that is pressure, volume and temperature. They have to study about pressure, volume and temperature in any of the class in 6th, 7th, 8th. They are aware about these terms, but how they are for a molecule is one of the chapter. I don't know it is in which class, but I want to show you how this ICT can help students to visualize, which we can't even visualize in lab. That I want to show you. For example, changing pressure. See, here we are going to see the variation of pressure which depends on the number of molecules. Setup, we have number of 50 molecules and what we are seeing. As the molecule moves, the pressure increases. No, it is not in class 8, but for the teachers, I am showing this software so that in class they are taking other classes also. They must know about how we can help students in basic learning of pressure, volume and temperature. Now, if I want to add particles, I add 50 more particles, then what happens? The pressure increases. Our learner can conclude by themselves only. We ask them to sit on the system and play with this model. What they will learn. This is how they can visualize the molecules, and this is not possible in the lab also. So sometimes ICT provides a very good opportunity to all of us. What happens? They can observe, they can interpret, and they can conclude the result. So we can say with the increase in number of molecules, pressure increases. For example, I am just giving, if we take the another model, temperature and pressure, we can say. I will take one more, just if you'll go one by one, you will see. And this is freely online available. So we can download it, we can install it, we can allow our learners to do it in our school lab. If we have systems, we can download it on all the systems, and we can ask them when they will deal with thermodynamics or when they are dealing with temperature, volume and temperature, because these three parameters are very important in future also when they are studying mechanics, when they are studying thermodynamics also. For example, temperature. Color we can have red, green, blue. Setup. Warm up walls means we are increasing the temperature. Cool down walls means we can decrease the temperature. This time we have chosen three colors: green, red and blue. And the graph shows pressure versus temperature. What happens if we increase the temperature to the pressure? If we increase the temperature, it means we are just warm up the walls. Temperature increases. This is the temperature. And temperature increases means pressure increases. And if we cool down the wall, and what we can also observe, the speed of blue is very low, green is medium, and red molecules are moving with high speed. And if we will increase the temperature more, what happens? All molecules will become red. We have reached the maximum allowable temperature. By time we see all molecules becomes red, and with the increase in temperature, pressure increases. And what happens when we cool down the walls? We will reach to absolute temperature. No doubt, when molecules get cooled, we will reach, that is minus 273 degrees Celsius. The pressure decreases and the speed of molecules slows down at 0 degree Kelvin. So what this software helps to learn students the molecular behavior. They do not need to उन्हें याद करने का जरूरत नहीं है. They can observe and they can remember it. What happens when, what is absolute zero, what happens at absolute zero. We can say at absolute zero, the pressure becomes zero. At absolute zero, it reaches towards absolute zero. And also with this help, with this software, the students will be able to draw graph. They can take readings, they can draw graph. And we know that graphical representation starts from class 5. See, the all molecules becomes blue and the speed becomes slow. So this is how there are so many softwares nowadays. Amruta Lab is there, by which we can use those and in our classroom. So ICT is really a very big support in our classroom to make our science learning effective. So this is how the traditional resources and technology based resources makes our science classroom effective. After that, I will give also demonstration on Algadu for the chapter friction. As we have seen chemical effect of current, we will do one activity for friction also and light also. Okay. Now, the time demand science education should shift from textbook to hands-on experiences. Hands-on experience, for example, I have used this software. If we will ask our learners to sit on the system, that also hands-on experience. They are performing by their own. They are making it, they're making observing, they are classifying, they are inferring. It means what we are doing. They are doing using science process skills. And using those science process skills, they come to interpretation and conclude the results by their own. And what teacher is doing? Teacher is just a facilitator with them. Wherever they are having query, we are there. We are for them. So science syllabus should be developmentally appropriate, interesting, and relevant to student lives. It emphasizes students' understanding through inquiry and be connected to their life. We can say science is a process and we need to involve students in this process, and teachers are advised to teach science by doing science. If teachers, or it is possible only when teachers will do, then our students will perform. So teachers are advised to teach science by doing science, not only by knowing science. So first, our learners will also involve, and for that, the science process skills is a very important part. If these science process skills will be developed, our learner will definitely have that attraction, have attention towards our science, and they can contribute in science in future. So observation, classification, inference, prediction, measurement, communication, experimentation, using space-time relations, formulating models, defining operationally the terms, recognizing variables, formulating hypotheses, interpreting data. It is looking like that for class students. Is it possible for class students to do all these things? Yes, it is possible. In the chapter, even we can do that. What happens when they can observe, they can classify. For example, we have seen in chemical effect of current. They will observe with various liquids, for example, vinegar, lemon juice, water, honey, milk. Are they conduct electricity? What they are doing? They are doing this only. They are filling that table using all this skill. They are observing, they are performing, they are making circuit, they are interpreting, they are hypothesis. On the basis of that, even they can hypothesize the answer. So teaching learning of science with emerging technology requires a spirit of experimentation. That spirit requires among us first, then only it will be developed among students. Willingness to engage learners in creation of learning resources, willingness to rise above the traditional approaches of teaching learning of science, tolerance of failure. While we are doing experiment, many times it happens we are not able to perform experiment properly and we are not getting the results what we want. So that tolerance is also required. We can perform many times until and unless we will get the required result. Where are the errors? What are the errors which we are not able to reduce, and why the results are not getting appropriately. So utilization of learning resource. Actually, the utilization of learning resource, it is all okay. But last one, meeting the individual differences. We need to take care of each and every student in the classroom, and accordingly, we have to choose our learning resource. If we will cover this, the 10th point, all above 8 or 9 points can be covered. So we need to focus on this. It is actually needed to keep in mind the individual differences, because every learner has different learning ability. Sometimes some are slow. So we need to also focus on them and what learning resources should be used in the classroom so that the scientific approach can be developed among them also. Now we are talking about pedagogy. What pedagogy is? We know that earlier it was teacher-centered pedagogy, and now we need to use child-centered pedagogy, the pedagogy which is an approach to achieve quality in education so that our learner can think, communicate, interact, and above all, he or she learn. So pedagogy involves knowledgeable and appropriately qualified professionals. No doubt, when we talk about pedagogy, the one who have did B.Ed, their B.Ed, because it's a training. B.Ed is a training in which we develop qualified professionals, and those who have done it really in a true manner, their class is very much effective. If we can observe their classes, no doubt they are doing it effectively. So skilled and informed observation of children to support effective development, learning and teaching. Awareness that education relates to all capabilities of each child, that is imaginative, creative, symbolic, linguistic, mathematical, musical, aesthetic, scientific, physical, social, moral, cultural, and spiritual. Parents, carers, and educators working in harmony and partnership. Without involvement of parents, learning can also be not done properly. We need to inform, we need to involve them time to time for their ideas, for their feedback, for their children's bright future. We need to involve the community, parents, and educators to bring harmony and first-hand experiences, play, talk, and reflection. Activities and experiences. Oh, wait. Sorry. Activities and experiences that have senses, purpose, and meaning to the child and involve joy, wonder, concentration, unity, and satisfaction. Learning with fun. Whatever is the stage, whatever is the class, if we will have that strategy, learning with fun. Fun doesn't mean that we have to laugh only. Fun means which creates interest among them to learn. So we need to prepare our classroom such that they can joyful learning, we can say. They have wonder, concentration, unity, and satisfaction. Holistic approach to learning, which recognize children as active feeling and thinking, seeing patterns and making connections, all round development of a child, we can say. Encouragement rather than punishment. When we are talking about encouragement, we have to focus on redirection and reinforcement. Then only we will be able to encourage in science learning, because they are performing something. If they are not able to perform that, they are not able to conduct that activity or the experiment, we need to reinforce and redirect our students without showing anger. We need to maintain maintain that peace on our face, and we also want them to involve. So we have to deal them very much patiently so that they can proceed accordingly. Individual and collaborative activity and play, an approach to learning which develops children autonomy and self-confidence. So if we want to develop a self-confidence, no doubt we have to deal each and every learner patiently. So child-centered education is very important. If we will not concentrate on child, we will not achieve a good learning also. So learner-centered education shift the focus of instruction from the teacher to the student, focuses on skill and practices that enable lifelong learning and independent problem solving. For example, Abhi, we have conducted a experiment using potato, using water, and simple glowing of bulb. If a student will perform this small activity in class 6, 7, or 8, they will remember it lifelong because they have performed it by their own. They solve the problem, they glows the bulb, and they are very happy. They never forget that with aloo we can glow a bulb. And if they will read it, they will not remember it. If they will perform it, they will remember it forever. So it must be based on constructivist learning theory. It must support the concept of learner as an active participant and support the instructors as mediator and facilitator. The students are at the heart of curriculum design, classroom interaction, and evaluation techniques. Whatever curriculum is to be transacted is for students only. So it is in the hands of teacher to develop the bridge between the content and the student so that the information can flow easily to the learner. So that bridge needs to be constructed by the teacher so that the content or the concept can be passed on to the learners easily as per their mental level. So student classrooms, student-centered classroom must focus on what do we want our students to know and what they will be able to do. Because we know what expectations are of class 8 from this curriculum. So what should they know and what they can be able to do that. How will we know when they know it? For that, what we have to do? We have to assess. How will we respond when they don't? They can't learn it. So what intervention? If assessment results were not good, then what interventions we have to give it again to them in order to have better conceptual understanding? And how will we respond when they already know it? Then we have to enrich the content. Sometimes it happens, some are very good students and though they already know whatever we are taking in the classroom. So we need to enrich them with more knowledge, how we can enhance their knowledge. So pedagogy includes it is art of teaching and it includes, so see, pedagogy is a very vast term. It includes so many things. It includes teaching strategies, teaching approaches, teaching methods, teaching models, teaching behaviors, teaching styles, teaching devices, teaching skills, process and attitude, and teaching aids. All these terms comes under pedagogy, and teacher must know about all these points so that she or he can choose in the classroom what strategy should they use in the classroom, what approach they can use, what method, what behavior, what styles, what devices they can use. I'm not going to discuss about in detail. I will just give it in brief, what strategies are and what approaches are. So teaching affects the whole behavior of the child by virtue of enhancing cognitive store, making him aware of affective store and improving cognitive store. Teaching should result in acquisition of knowledge, skills and attitude. The overall purpose of teaching learning is that only we will be able to develop better knowledge, skills and attitude among the student. So pedagogical content knowledge, it involves effective subject teaching. If we want effective subject teaching, the teacher or must have the knowledge of the better knowledge of the discipline, a good knowledge of pedagogy, what pedagogy means, what strategy, what approach, what device, what skills should be used in the science classroom for effective subject teaching. The strategies, what strategies we can use in the classroom are explanatory, exploratory, confirmatory, constructivism, experiential, flipped classroom, metacognition. And all these strategies depends actually processed step by step. We have seen right now the experimental strategy, how with the help of this strategy, what kind of attitude we develop, what kind of what conceptual understanding can be developed, and how the experiments help students to develop science process skills. Teaching approaches, these are the strategies, right? And what teaching approaches can be used? Objective based instructions. Our today's objective is the experimental development of experimental skills. For example, we have planned accordingly. And then differentiated instruction. We can plan 2 to 4 activities and we can form groups of students in the class so that we can focus on individualized differences. Integrated learning, evidence-based teaching, brain-based teaching, open-ended instruction, inquiry learning, that is what I have said about constructivism, 5E model. We need to engage, we need to explore, explain, elaborate and evaluate our learners constructively. Cooperative learning, peer teaching, inductive and deductive. What teaching methods? We know that these are the teaching method. Generally, the teaching method is lecture method, but it's the time to change our teaching method. It must be not discussion, not demonstration. It must be laboratory or project method, problem solving method, so our learners can involve to achieve the higher level of Bloom's taxonomy, that is creativity. They can create, they can innovate something new. What are the teaching techniques? We can have similarities and differences, classifications, examples and illustration. If we are talking about science learning, We must give examples and illustrate the concept for better understanding. Concept mapping. If teachers are available here, I will ask them to, or those who are listening me, I ask them to prepare a concept map on any chapter of your choice. Please try to prepare a concept map of your choice, because it really helps in moving ahead into the lesson. What next topic I have to take and how I have to move into the class with the concept. So please try to make a concept map of any chapter of your choice. If you want to make it on physics, if you want to make it on bio or chemistry, it is up to you. But please try to give draw a concept map before starting any chapter. It will really help you. A kind of flow chart it is. It will really help you. Okay. Observation, criticizing, hypothesis setting and testing, cognitive acceleration, mnemonics. These are the teaching techniques, tricks which we can use in the classroom. What are the theories of teaching science or the approaches? We can say Constructivism, 5E model, social cognition, learning styles, brain-based learning theory, experiential learning. For class 8, I can say experiential learning is very much fruitful. If we can use experiential learning at class 8, it will be very good. And from class 8, as they are moving into the class 9, there is a transformation. It's a transformation period for them from moving upper primary stage to secondary stage. So definitely we need to have some activities like that which will help them when they will go in class 9. Cooperative learning, discovery learning, as per the topic, as per the project, they have to decide. The purpose is to involve them, to give them experiential learning, the learning which they can gain through experience. Teaching skills, we know all those teaching skills, planning skills, presentation skills, closure, evaluation and managerial skills. Teaching devices, lecturing, narration, exposition, translation, paraphrasing, anecdote, symbolism, pause, questioning, answering, illustration, whatever you can do for better teaching learning to enhance conceptual understanding, please use in the classroom to create interest among the students, how they can create, they can have that good responses. They can give good responses in the class. Teaching behaviors, teacher must welcome and accept ideas, aware of learning needs of the learner, aware of learning intentions, monitor learning and feedback, build relation and faith interaction, conducts oneself well, create learning challenges, competitive, cooperative, and individualistic. What I will say, if you have a good knowledge of strategies, good knowledge of skills, everything, but you don't have a good teaching behavior, all this is useless. So please work on teaching behavior also. If we have that positive outlook in the class, if we will take care of each and every child, if we will maintain the dignity of every learner, our class will be a very good class and all students will involve positively and effectively in the classroom. What are the teaching maxims? The very important teaching maxim is known to unknown. As we have conducted the experiment, what we have done, the experiment which was performed by the learner in class 6, we have used that. Why? Because they know it. And what we have to show them, the chemical effect, for example, we have used the potato. They do not know about it. So from known to unknown, right? And it really helps when student knows something. They want to participate. If we will ask some question, they will raise hand. Madam, I want to tell you. Madam, can I answer? And if they don't know, when we ask some tough question, so when they don't know, so what they will do? They hide themselves. No, I don't want to answer. So we have to give that platform, that opportunity to students so that they can involve in the classroom. Concrete to abstract, simple to complex, psychological to logical, definite to indefinite, empirical to rational. The best is for class 8 is unknown, known to unknown. Teaching aid, as per the topic, we have to choose what we want to use. So what is the new role of teacher? Teacher is now innovator, facilitator, co-worker, mentor, modeling, leader, resource provider, and catalyst of and for change. So student-centered method shift the focus of activities from the teacher to the learners. So active learning involves such a way that the students can create, they can explain, they can formulate, they can answer, they can discuss, they can solve problems. Now we come to why we have discussed about all this pedagogy, learning resources, and ICT. Why we are discussing about? Because our students have achieved the learning outcomes or not. NCERT has defined specific learning outcomes for every class. Class 6 has different, 7 has, 8 has, 9 has, and 10 has. But they have link among them. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There is link of learning outcomes. What they have to achieve in class 6, what they have to achieve in 7, what they have to achieve in 8 and 9 and 10. So in order to achieve the learning outcomes, we need to focus on what transactional processes. We have discussed about the transactional processes. As per the demand of the topic or the concept, the transactional processes needs to be decided. And for that transactional process, what learning resources can be used and what concepts to be achieved. So this cycle needs to be complete in order to achieve learning outcomes. These are the learning outcomes for class 6, 7 and 8. If you will see in class 6 also identification is there, 7 also identification is there, but in 8, after identification, what they have to do? They have to differentiate the materials and organism. In class 6 and 7, they have to identify only material and organism, but in class 8, they have to differentiate. It means differentiate, identification they have already done in 6 and 7. In class 8, they have to differentiate. Next is they have in 6 and 7, they have differentiate the material and organism. Now they have to classify the material and organism. They must conduct simple investigation. They can relate process and phenomena, explain processes and phenomena, write word equation. This more learning outcomes are uploaded on the NCERT website. Please download from that learning outcome book was there. You may download, and again I request, as I requested you to prepare a concept map for any one of the chapter of your choice. I will say choose 2 chapters now, one on which you have developed a concept map and other more chapter, and try to write on every concept which learning outcome the students are achieving in that concept. Try to write that. If we will come to know about in this concept, they will achieve the conduct simple investigation to seek answers to queries. For example, we have conducted one experiment that learning outcome will relate this. We have conducted simple investigation to seek answer to the queries. Okay. Then relate process and phenomena with causes, explains processes and phenomena, write word equation for chemical reactions, measure angles of incidence and reflection, prepare slides, draws label diagram, flow charts, etc. This is how we have a class-wise learning outcomes, and the last one is same for all, that is exhibits values of honesty, objectivity, cooperation, freedom from fear and prejudices. Okay, this is same. So as per the age and class, we have to develop these values, and these are continuing from class 1, not from class 6. Before that also, we are developing these values among students. When these students are able to achieve, they have achieved these learning outcomes in 9th and 10th. Again, you see, I'm not going to discuss, I'm just see. They are again doing the same learning outcome, but the concepts are different. The level becomes high now. Okay, that differentiation, classification, plans and conduct investigation, but level becomes high. Wait a minute. Okay, this is how in 9th and 10th. So they have to do like. So what are the suggested pedagogical processes for achieving the learning outcomes? The learner is to be provided with opportunities in pair, groups, individually in an inclusive setup and encouraged to. They need to explore surroundings. natural processes, phenomena using senses, and pose questions and find answers. And find answers through reflection, discussion, designing and performing appropriate activities, role plays, debates, and use of ICT, etc. Analyze recorded data, interprets results, and draw inferences. Share findings with peers and adults. Exhibit creativity, presenting novel ideas, new designs, internalize, acquire, and appreciate values such as cooperation, collaboration, honesty, reporting, judicious use of resources, etc. Now I will show you the chapter light, how ICT, because we have science kit also provided by NCERT. NCERT developed science kit for all levels, upper primary level, secondary level, and higher secondary level also. Now let's have one demonstration using of chapter light. See, we have seen chemical effect of current. Now we will see demonstration of light. In some schools in rural areas, if we do not have lab, for example, this is the software called Algado. ALGODOO. Software called Algado. For example, in light chapter, it starts with reflection and ends with dispersion. Is it possible? Because see, when we are performing in the lab also, we are not able to show them the rays, how rays are moving. In this folder, we will go. This is the optics area. What we have to see, for example, we have to perform. The screen is visible, please? Yes, ma'am. Okay, okay. Please zoom it, okay? Please zoom the screen if it is looking small. This is the mirror. I will take the mirror and laser. This is laser. This is laser. I want to rotate it. And just place this mirror. Okay, sorry. This is also, I will say.
Madam, excuse me, one minute, madam, 1 minute.
Please.
హలో యూట్యూబ్ లో స్ట్రీమింగ్ చేస్తున్నారు కదా సార్, లైవ్ లో ఏవో పాటలు వినిపిస్తున్నాయంట సార్, కొంచెం అదొకసారి గమనించరా సార్?
Please, I'm not getting what you are saying.
It is not about your problem, madam. It is the streaming. We are getting
చెప్పండి, ఏంటి సమస్య?
అన్నగారు, అది సాంగ్స్ వస్తున్నాయంట స్ట్రీమింగ్ లో.
I will check immediately. 1 second.
Madam, you can continue, madam. Thank you, madam.
Okay. Wait a minute. Just select it. See. Is it possible to show the law of reflection to our students, right? What we have taken a mirror. We just incident light from the laser, and light is reflected. If we can draw a line, with the help of pencil. This is the pencil. Okay. If we will draw a line from this, we have to draw a straight line. For example, I have drawn this like that. So they can measure the angle and they can prove I is equal to R. So by this also, if we do not have the mirror, sometimes may break, or we don't have the laser light, or we want to show them the angle of reflection I is equal to R. How it happens? We can show it with the help of algado. The light is reflected and with at the same angle of incidence, and law says I is equal to R. The another is, we can say, dispersion. If we will now take we have taken mirror. Now, for example, I will take a laser array. This is a laser. Okay, now we place a convex lens. What will happen? Just move this convex like this. They have to study about the lenses also in upper primary stage. I don't know in which class, but I have just want to show this also along with the law of reflection and diffraction. The light, when light rays passing through the lens, convex lens, they focus at one point, and that point is called focus. This point is called focus. They will never forget if they will perform it by their own. Next, we will take a concave lens, for example. This is concave lens. What happens with the concave lens? The light rays diverges. It means the phenomena of convergence and the phenomena of divergence can also be shown with the help of software. And these software really provides a good understanding of the concept, because I remember my school days when I think I learned all these things in class 7. Now also maybe in class 7. So I just try to remember. मैं याद कर लेती थी कि क्या दिखाई दे रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है. Just how I can't tell you actually कि I don't have that understanding when my teacher taught me just from the book. This is, and I do not even know at that time which one is convex, which one is concave. But what I feel, even these days, because of ICT, it really supports in good science teaching actually, because it helps us to visualize. So this is how the concave and convex lens works. We can show the convergence, we can show the divergence, we can show them where the focus is. Even the laws of all the positions of the lenses we can draw with it, and we can see where, when the object is placed in the image, where the formation of image takes place. But it is not in the class 8. That's why I'm not going to take that topic. Now that comes to dispersion, as dispersion is in the class 8. We will take the prism. This is the prism. We will take the laser and light incident on it. Just rotate it like this. As this light is not of white color, we will make it white. See, the dispersion is there. And if you want to change the background, you can make the background black to have a clear. See, this is how we get the dispersion with the help of prism, because rainbow is also there in the class 8. So we can explain rainbow also with the help of this. Yahan pe bhi, even in inside the prism there is dispersion, but the clear dispersion is seen outer side of the prism. This is how the dispersion can be shown to the students. If we do not have prism, we do not have lenses, we do not have mirror in the school, in some of the rural school maybe it was not there, we can use these experiments. So no doubt you also need to take care of providing training, ICT based training to the learners, so to the teachers actually, so that they can aware of all these softwares. And there are so many other softwares with the help of which we can able to deliver science effectively. So this is how the chapter light can be delivered in the classroom using ICT. And if we have those items in our lab, so we can show them it manually. We can ask them to perform by their own. So this is how algado can be performed. One more with the help of algado, I can show you the friction also, and we have one friction kit at our institute that will also I will show you. This is all about the chapter light. Now I will make a one friction model. I will try to make draw one inclined plane. This is one inclined plane. Draw one box. This is one box. For example, the mass of this friction of this is 0.5. Okay, let me have two more so that we can. We will give different friction to all. Let us consider only 3. Okay. In this, the friction is let 5.5. In this, the friction is 0.28, and in it, the friction is 0. यहाँ पे friction is 0. ठीक है? Let's bind it, otherwise it will fall. And play. What happened? What student will conclude? Again, see. This is having 0 friction. This is 0.28 and this is 0.5. It means we have to see from this to this what happens when the friction increases. See. When friction increases means it opposes motion. As the friction increases, it opposes motion. This is how we can show them, demonstrate them the friction chapter. And one more we can do it if we can draw one inclined plane and we can increase the mass of this block every time. If we will increase the mass, the friction, it always slides. So it does not depend on the mass. If the inclination angle is okay, because wait, ये वाला friction पे लगाओ. I will show you the kit also. This is the one way of performing the experiment on using ICT. And other I will show you. We have the kit of friction. कैसे दिखाएंगे? फिर इसमें आवाज जाएगी? हाँ. लो देखना पड़ेगा ना, दिखाई दे रहा है या नहीं. I will show you. Please wait. The kit of friction. On video का on करना है ना? Please let me know when the kit is visible. बंद हो गया फिर. वो start my video होना चाहिए. देखो करो. हो गया? नहीं आया. हाँ. See, this is the kit. पूरा देखो, थोड़ा पीछे देखो. This is the inclined plane and the block is on this inclined plane, and this is the pulley pan on which we have to keep the weight. And when it will slide, there is one scale also. This is the scale at which degree we have to incline the plane. And when it starts sliding, the base is of glass. We have to put weight from the weight box, and we see that we will start with 50 grams. Okay, I will keep the 50 grams in the pan. It is not sliding. Am I audible?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So this experiment, just to demonstrate them, it is all right if it is not in the class 8, it is in the class 12th or in 11th, wherever it is, but we can demonstrate it to the students to understand the concept of friction, how friction, with the help of friction, it opposes the motion, and what angle of inclination should be there, and if the mass remains the same, and the angle of if we will change the mass and at the same angle of inclination, even then it will get slide. So we have to add on masses, because without mass it will get slide. The first क्यों रहा है? 100. I will keep it now 100. Not sliding, no? See, it moves. It moves. It moves. So this is how, just for giving and understanding, we need to perform this kind of experiments in the classroom. Though they are not in the syllabus, experiments are not in the syllabus, but if you have higher classes, your school is of secondary or higher secondary level, you must have these kits in the lab so that we can demonstrate it into the class 8. So ये force भी है आपको even class. This is called, see, for light chapter I want to show this. This is a model which shows no image. If we stand in front of it, exactly in front of it, we don't see any image. We developed this model. This model is in the actually science center at Bhopal. We developed it at our lab, a small basic model. When we stand in front of it, or if we keep anything in front of it, no image, zero image is shown. In this case, two mirrors are at 30 degree. They are placed at 30 degree, and if in this condition, if we stand in front of it, no image will be formed. So in chapter light, because we are talking about the kaleidoscope and all, so we need to give some other informations also. The retroscope, if in place of 30 degree, if we will place these two mirrors in 90 degree, actually, if both the mirrors are placed at 90 degree, what will happen? We will get multiple images of the candle. If we light a candle in front of it, we will get in front of mirror, we will get only one image. And if we will if we will place two mirror in such a way that the angle is in between 90 degree, if we will get the multiple images of candle. So we have to show this zero image, multiple image, and kaleidoscope. Because of multiple reflections, we will get different kinds of shapes. Okay. Yeah. So these are the examples which we can have. The metals and non-metal is also one of the chapter in class 8. So that also helps in this chapter also. If you will go through the chapter in the book, properly activities are given, properly tables are given, how the metals conduct electricity and how non-metals do not. They have to prepare a table, and accordingly they can move ahead in the chapter. This is all about that chapter. I am not going to much discuss that bulb glows and bulb does not glow. We have to give them this iron nail, copper wire, aluminum wire, piece of coal, sulfur, and lead piece, etc. Whatever we have in our school, we can provide them and we can ask them to perform the experiment. So we can use ICT, as I have shown the videos also. We have NR, OER one on our NCERT website, or in which various videos are available on all the topics which you can show to the students. These are for teachers also. We can ask questions. As no are there, I am not going to discuss much on this. And this is how we can move ahead into the classroom. This is one chapter I have taken, metals and non-metals, and what activities and what field visit, how we can do that for the student, that needs to be planned. So another is the concept of sound. Sound also, it is very appropriately designed chapter. If you will go through the chapters, there are this is the table is there in that chapter. By what method we can produce sound, that is by hitting, by plucking, by blowing, by scratching. So students can give very many examples and write before that, and we can conduct experiment how vibrate with the help of vibrations sound can be produced. This is another activity for musical instruments. Which part is vibrating, they can tell. If you can play that instrument in front of them, definitely they will tell which part of the instrument is vibrating. So constructivism, I have already discussed about constructivism. We need to give opportunity to our learners to construct knowledge by their own as per their ideas. So in a constructivist classroom, learning is constructed. It must be active, reflective, collaborative, problem solved, and evolving. The one is I have worked on is folk pedagogy. Why I have used this term folk pedagogy? Because science, sometimes it becomes near us, no interest, no attraction. So how we can bring attraction in science? There are so many things which are based on science. For example, center of mass, no doubt I have done this study for secondary stage, but I thought I can tell you about this also, so that we can have for class 8, 7 or 6 also, we can have some examples. We can find some examples which are based on folk pedagogy. How these dancers dance because they have their center of mass, momentum. Dance also needs momentum, then only they can balance themselves. Sound, Tijan Bai is one of the popular singer in Madhya Pradesh, and she is awardee also. She plays this tanpura. Resonance, how resonance in sound chapter in class 9th, resonance is there, not in 8th. But how, because I have studied these things, folk pedagogy at the secondary level. Force, what force is? Force is the chapter in class 8th also. So we can give examples for force also using folk pedagogy. Bright colors, we are talking about dispersion, where these colors come from. So we can say them, we can give examples like pictures. They really want to see, and motion of a bird. When we are talking about force, and that motion is also there. Friction, we have talked about friction. We can give examples of camels walking on sand. So this is how the reflection, we have the light chapter 2 in class 8. This is one of the song from movie. I do not remember right now the name of this movie. So the multiple reflections are seeing in this picture when she dances. So science topic at upper primary stage must be focusing on learner-centric approach, using local resources, linking with learning outcomes, inbuilt assessment, enhancing gender sensitivity, inclusion and sensitivity towards environment. So it is required to know our student, to pose questions. We need to know process skills, learning resources, pedagogy, assessment of students, learning outcomes achieved. If learning outcomes will not achieve, revisit and give additional input, and again see. And if it is achieved, then what is the reflection of the teacher? Then evaluation may be done on the basis of the following points. As we need to, not the paper pencil test is only the evaluation. We need to evaluate throughout the year, actually, through skills, using skills by which we can evaluate them. So science classroom needs to be an active classroom. For that, opportunity for the child to think, we need to give opportunity for the child to think, meaningful and challenging tasks given to the child, engage and help the child to learn something new for them. And science education should shift from textbook to hands-on experiences. Textbook is a supporting material for us, but we need to think beyond the textbook, how to provide hands-on experiences to our learners. Science syllabus should be developmentally appropriate, interesting, and relevant to students' lives. Whatever you are discussing, try to keep examples as per their level and the locale, so that emphasize students' understanding through inquiry, and be connected to their life. So the biggest challenge before a science teacher is how to teach science lessons effectively in a classroom, interestingly, interactively, and involving them. If this teaching learning activities are effective, students can reach the goals of life by acquisition of knowledge, skills, and values in science. So what is the learning framework? The learning framework should involve the curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment in order to create a better learning environment. Child should observe closely, develop concept, develop the use of language, because language plays a very important role. If he or she is not able to communicate in proper language, how we can assess the conceptual understanding. But a very long way to go, because one side the schools are like that and the other side the schools are like that. We have to consider, we have to plan accordingly as per the availability of resources. These are the strategies which we have already discussed: activities, experiments, field visits, surveys, whatever we can do. Learning resources, for the learning resources, we need to develop science corner, science laboratory, virtual resources, library, science club, science exhibition. Every year, try to conduct one science exhibition in which students can make even a small working model, but try to ask them to make small working models. NCERT organizes Jawaharlal Nehru National Science Exhibition for science and environmental education for children. They can visit botanical garden, zoological garden, forest. Community members should involve, and this is how. And assessment should be based on knowledge, their skills, and the attitudes. These are some of the activities which I kept for the teachers which we are joining in the session. They must develop a unit plan. I have given one task to develop a concept map. I have given one task to find out the learning outcomes on every concept, which learning outcome is covered in which concept, what are the gender concerns addressed in them, and select chapters and suggest ways and means of contextualization with respect to students. Try to do these tasks. So what are the pedagogical processes? It must be, the learning situation must be the contextual. It must be in context of children, their learning needs and their learning style, the style in which they can learn. And primacy to children experiences, school knowledge, active participation, facilitate children to construct their own knowledge. They can explore and build new knowledge. Real world experiences to encounter various scientific issues. Developing basic science process skills, we have talked about it. And inclusive resource materials, school environment. Try to involve their senses in order to have better opportunity, better learning. For that, we need to give opportunity to observe, to express, to discuss, to question, to critically think, to improvise, to analyze, and to participate. So integrating technology into a student-centered environment will definitely make learning good. Parents plays a very important role, because they are the pillar of the students or the children's life, which make them positive, healthy, and provide a good life. In this, all these resources and strategies which we have discussed, the important is KWL sheet, means what our student knows, what they want to know, and what they have learned. Try to make the sheet for every chapter, what they have already knows, what they want to know, and what they have learned in the last. So it is the time, it is the transforming phase of education system. And what I will say, feel blessed, we are part of it. NEP also coming, NEP 2020 is also coming, which changes the education system fully. So this is the time to change the spirit of ours, that too a positive spirit. First, the curriculum was binded. Now it is free, which makes our learners free. NEP makes the curriculum free. So what kind of learner we want? We want the learner who is participative, who is active, who is interacting, and who is dynamic. We don't want silent learner nowadays. So what kind for that? If you want this kind of if you want this kind of learner, the teacher needs to put their efforts, do work hard, so that they can have this kind of classroom. We don't want the teacher who is sitting and taking the class. We want the active teacher. Then only our learners can be active. So what teaching process should be in the class, in the science class? The teacher must be well prepared. There must be no communication barriers, and the information to be passed to the learner must be in the CAP form, that is clear, accurate, brief, and specific, because our learner is sensitized and receptive. So we have to deal them very carefully and patiently. This is the learning cycle should be. We have to consider, we have to take care of all the domains. That is cognitive domain, affective domain, and psychomotor domain. Cognitive domain related with the head, affective domain related with the heart, and psychomotor related with the hand. When these three coordinations is good, no doubt learning is good. So you are the key. Teachers, technology, and student-centered approaches gives the active learning. We need to open the lock so that our learner entered into the active classroom. Everything is the same. The story is the same, but outlook needs to be changed. How to look at the curriculum now, so that our learner can get something from us, because the exposure is even very much high for our learners. They know so many things as even we do not know. So the time comes to change our outlook, and it is in our hand. What you want run away or to participate? The choice is yours, and I really assure every teacher wants to participate. They don't want to run away. They do want to fulfill their duties, responsibilities with great heart. And teaching is a work of art, and the secret of education is to respect our learner. It's time to change the attitude, change thinking, and change behavior. And always keep smiling, relax. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you, madam. Now, I invite Dr. K. Reddy sir for concluding this session, sir.
Giribab garu.
Madam, stop your sharing, madam.
I am doing that only.
Madam, one question from a participant. Is from Anantapuram district, L. Krishnamurthy Naik. He is asking how the fractional distillation process is going on.
So please repeat the question.
How the fractional distillation process is going on. Madam, I will share this query, madam. Please, madam.
Please share.
1 second. Yeah, madam. Now you can see the first one. The first query is.
I have to click on chat, or I have to click on participate.
No, madam. You can answer. You can answer in this webinar. The question is how the fractional distillation process is going on.
Frankly speaking, sir, as I am from physics background, okay, as I am from physics background, so this question is from chemistry, right?
Yeah, madam.
No. So I don't have that much knowledge about fractional distillation, but I can say fractional distillation. It means the distillation takes place in fractions, in many parts, one by one. Now, for example, if we will get that distilled water, how we will get the distilled water? It is an example of fractional distillation. So what we do, we boil the water in and collect the steam in the beaker, and that collected steam is called the distilled water. If you if I am right.
Okay, madam. Thank you so much, madam. And other queries are administrative queries, madam. Increasing periods for physical science like that. We will answer those queries, madam. Anyhow, thank
Make
you
some
so much,
practical
madam.
period, sir.
And in YouTube streaming also, the participants are giving their responses, very good responses and useful. And most of the participants are requesting to have a physical session with you, physical training with you in Andhra Pradesh. We will inform to our director sir and commissioner sir, madam. Thank you so much, madam, for your valuable session. Keshav Reddy garu, you want to share something?
Thank you so much, sir.
Keshav Reddy garu.
No, it's okay now. It's okay.
Giribabu garu, you want to share something?
So some
No,
clarification.
sir. Keshav sir, conclude that one,
Thank you
sir.
so much, madam. Thank you.
It is actually distillation processes. Distillation and fractional distillation, sir. We have in 9th class very detailed manner in the 9th class textbook. So later in our internal training programs, we will discuss and we will clarify whatever you want.
We will share the participant mobile number and etc. Sir, you can interact with him and you can clarify.
Okay,
Thank you.
sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ravi
Ravi garu,
Shall I leave?
Ravi
Shall I
garu,
leave?
thank you so much for your help. Ravi.
Thank you very much.
Namaskar. Thank you.
Thank you,
Shall
madam.
I leave, please?
See you again.
Thank you so much.
Shall
sir.
I leave?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so
thank
much
you.
for
Thank
your
you.
valuable time. Thank you so much for